Chances are you are one of two people who clicked on this video. Person one feels stuck in their lives. You have these goals and dreams that feel completely unachievable, but you are willing to try any of them come true. Person two saw this video and thought, what the is this child gonna try to teach me today? Dopamine, the hormone behind addiction, satisfaction, and motivation, single-handedly making and breaking people's lives. And what causes this separation? How well they control their dopamine. Today, I need you to listen very carefully because I'm gonna show you exactly how you can take back control of your life. Section 1, discovering exactly what dopamine is and how it can destroy your mind. Section 2, how you can control your dopamine to increase productivity. And Section 3, the 14-day dopamine detox challenge. In order to properly detox, we need to first understand what dopamine is. Dopamine, also known as the feel-good chemical, is released from the brain when it is expecting a reward, such as eating donuts or watching a funny video, which, don't get me wrong, is great and all. Who doesn't love a nice donut? But the problem comes into play when we start to realize how much better we feel doing these tasks compared to when we do something like schoolwork. As a human, our natural instinct is to take the path of least resistance. Because why would we make our lives any harder than they already are? And this instinct also comes into play with dopamine. Our brains have realized we could get as much, if not more dopamine while laying in bed watching YouTube videos compared to going to the gym and hitting a workout. I think you can see where I'm headed with this. As we live our lives surrounded by social media and 18+ content and all of these things that give us an unreal amount of dopamine, we begin to build up a tolerance. So those small things we would do before, like only watching 1 or 2 YouTube videos, doesn't feel as good as it used to. And you've been seeing this firsthand, probably without even realizing. With the shift in content creation across all platforms, our attention spans just keep getting shorter and shorter. Let me ask you, how often do you find yourself mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, letting the video play for a solid 2 seconds before you get bored and scroll away? Not even giving the video a chance. Or how about when you sit down to do that homework that you've been putting off for days, and you sit there with a blank face, with no idea where to even start? So, what do? Pull out your phone and begin consuming content. How do I know all of this? Because I've been in that exact same situation, and I still am sometimes. There was a point in my life where I wanted to be successful so bad. I wanted to be able to give my future family the best life possible, but I just had no idea how to get there. So I decided it was time to make a change. I started to work on myself. One of the first places I started, you guessed it, dopamine. So you might be asking yourself, what can I do to get out of this downward spiral that society is sliding down? We need to use dopamine in your favor rather than against you. The single easiest way to do this is to limit the amount of dopamine you are getting from doing easy, unproductive tasks. The more you're able to limit this, the more your brain will crave dopamine, to the point where it will be willing to do literally anything to get that same feeling. Another term that I want you to understand is delayed gratification. This is essentially just the practice of resisting the temptation of immediate pleasure. And this is something that I want you to practice in your day-to-day life. I want you to think about that time where you picked up your phone and had absolutely no idea why. So you just hop on TikTok. This is because your brain was subconsciously craving dopamine. So by getting on your phone, without even realizing, you're giving your brain what it wants, and therefore digging yourself into a deeper hole. So next time you feel the urge to pick up your phone, resist for as long as possible. And I guarantee you'll forget about it in the next 15 seconds. And don't get under the impression that this is easy, because it's not. It's gonna be 14 brutal, boring days that are literally going to suck. You may be wondering why I chose 14 days. From all the research I've done, 14 days is the minimum amount of days necessary to reset your dopamine. 90 days was the most recommended, but I mean, like, I wouldn't even want to do a 90-day detox. Therefore, I opted to go for 14 high-intensity days. And the goal is, if you do this right, by the end of this, your dopamine will be a fresh slate. So, with that being said, here is the 4-step checklist of how you can take back control of your life in 14 days. Number 1, limiting your screen phone time to 1.5 hours a day. Now, this one is a tiny bit difficult just because some people do use their phone for work. So let's just say 1.5 hours of personal use per day. I want you to all go on your phone right now and add the screen time widget. That way, you can constantly see how long you've been on your phone throughout the day. I guarantee you, you are gonna be in shock of how much time you actually spend on your phone every single day. 50% or more of the people that I asked about their screen time have 5+ hours every single day. 35 hours a week wasted. Down the drain. Sayonara. Absolutely unreal. Second is cutting out all 18+ content. This single item lets off the most dopamine out of the entire bunch by far. Meaning, if you only took one thing away from this entire video, I want it to be this step. Third, meditate for 10 minutes every single day. I know, 10 minutes doesn't sound that long, but trust me, when you first start out meditating, it is freaking boring. But the great thing about it is that it makes the rest of the day feel so much more entertaining, which is the reason why I recommend doing it in the morning. At this point, some of you may be getting discouraged and you might feel like this is just a little too much for you. Or maybe you're making excuses in your head of why you can't do it or you can't start right now. But I just want you to know that I am absolutely positive that you can complete this challenge. There is no doubt in my mind. I just want you to set those negative thoughts to the side and keep your head up. Fourth is no touching your phone for at least 10 minutes after you wake up. You might be saying right now, Carson, why the frick does that matter? It would just come out of my 1.5 hours of screen time a day. I really don't see what's wrong. Well, here's the problem. Your morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. So if you get up and roll over and instantly get on your phone, your brain will get large quantities of dopamine literally for just waking up. So what I currently do is I wake up, make my bed, then meditate, all without touching my phone. This would give me the dopamine from making my bed and actually completing the task, as well as the delayed gratification of touching my phone, which sets the rest of my day up for success. And finally, bonus tip, cut all substances out of your life. This one is obvious for both health as well as mental reasons. But overall, they're just not good for you. So just use this time to take a break from substances altogether. But to make the most out of this dopamine detox that you're gonna be putting yourself through, you need to put that newfound energy into something that's actually gonna help you progress in life, whether it's internal or financially. So for those of you who are struggling to figure out what you want to do in life and how you're gonna make money, watch this video where I show you 8 ways to make $1,000 a month fast.